My name is Della, 36, project manager. My days run like clockwork because that is how I keep the world from tilting. Alarm at 6:15, feed Luna her precise portion, black coffee measured to the gram, planner reviewed before I even open the blinds. The apartment stays pristine, white counters, folded towels, no stray papers. Luna understands boundaries, she never knocks anything over. Order is safety. Surprises are the opposite. Ethan arrived in our department 3 months ago, 28, junior developer with bright ideas and a habit of showing up with slightly damp hair from the walk and a half-apologetic grin. His commits were clever but erratic, bursts of genius instead of steady increments. I added him to more stand-ups, created tighter subtasks, watched his progress like a hawk. He never complained. He just nodded, fixed things faster than expected, then flashed that easy smile that made me look away. Friday after the big release the floor was almost empty. I stayed late closing tickets, updating the retrospective slide deck. Footsteps. Ethan appeared holding 2 paper cups. "You skipped the drinks," he said. "Decaf, splash of oat milk, no sugar." I stared. I had never told him my order. "I noticed," he added simply, setting the cup on the exact corner of my desk where I always place drinks. I took it because refusing felt ruder than accepting. We talked project metrics for 3 minutes, then somehow slid into weekend plans. He asked about Luna. I answered briefly. When he left he reached over and aligned the 3 pens beside my keyboard so they pointed the same direction. A small, deliberate movement. My pulse jumped. No one touches my desk. That night Luna pressed against my shins while I lay in the dark replaying the moment. The coffee had been perfect. The pens were straight. I told myself it meant nothing. Yet sleep came slower than usual, my mind circling one quiet fact: for the first time in years someone had paid attention without being asked. I tried to reset. Monday I routed all requests through tickets instead of hallway conversations. Ethan still passed my desk each morning, offering a quick, "Morning, Della," that carried no expectation. I answered politely and kept typing. Distance felt safer. Wednesday evening rain hammered the windows as the office lights dimmed. I had no umbrella, umbrellas live in the entry closet and the forecast had said partly cloudy. I stood under the awning calculating the fastest route to the subway when Ethan stepped beside me holding a wide black umbrella. "Share?" he asked. I weighed the options. Wet shoes versus 5 blocks of forced small talk. I nodded. Under the canopy our shoulders touched every few steps. He smelled clean, like cedar soap and rain-damp cotton. We walked in comfortable quiet until he said, "Luna's probably pacing right now, wondering why dinner's late." I almost smiled. "She'll forgive me if I add extra treats." He chuckled low. Smart cat. Knows how to negotiate. By the time we reached my building the rain had softened. I thanked him, turned toward the lobby. "Della," he called softly. I paused. It's okay to get caught in the rain sometimes. Doesn't ruin the whole day. His hair stuck to his forehead, shirt clinging in places, yet he looked perfectly at ease. I felt the familiar urge to retreat, and ignored it. Inside, I fed Luna, poured a glass of the Pinot I usually save for holidays, and sat on the couch instead of the desk chair. The wine tasted better than it should have. I pictured Ethan walking home alone, umbrella folded, smiling to himself. For once my evening held no checklist. Only the memory of shared shelter and the faint scent of rain still on my coat. Routine softened at the edges. Ethan brought Monday coffee without fanfare, always correct, always placed just so. I stopped adding buffer tasks to his tickets, he delivered anyway. We talked more, code architecture, city parks I never visited, why I color code everything. One late Thursday he found me still at my screen and asked, "Ever go up top?" I frowned. "The roof?" He nodded. "Best view in the building. Come on." The terrace was windy, city lights glittering below like scattered coins. I gripped the railing, ponytail whipping. Ethan stood close enough that I felt his warmth against the chill. "You're brilliant at holding everything together," he said quietly. "But you don't have to hold it alone." I looked at him then, really looked. No pressure in his eyes, only patience. He leaned in slowly, telegraphing every movement. I could have stepped back. I didn't. His lips pressed my forehead, soft, lingering just long enough to register as promise rather than demand. I pulled away gently, face hot. "I need time." He nodded once. "I've got plenty." That night Luna met me at the door, tail flicking. I lifted her, buried my face in her fur. The apartment felt too silent, too empty. I wanted sound, someone else's breathing, someone else's heartbeat. We moved carefully. Small gestures accumulated, a photo he sent of the bookshelf he built, perfectly proportioned, a playlist labeled Focus Plus Calm that I played while working late, a sticky note I left on his monitor that read Solid Refactor. He never crowded me. I never shut him out. Saturday he texted, "Luna deserves company. Your place, 3. I cleaned for 2 hours even though nothing needed cleaning. He arrived with catnip and chilled white wine. Luna approved instantly, weaving between his ankles. We sat on the couch, far apart at first, then closer. Conversation drifted from work to childhood stories, to why I still check locks 3 times. When he kissed me it was slow, asking rather than taking. I answered by sliding my hands to his neck, pulling him nearer. His palms settled warm on my waist. The room narrowed to skin, breath, the faint rumble of Luna's purse somewhere near our feet. Afterward we stayed tangled, my head on his chest. "This scares me," I admitted. He traced circles on my shoulder. "I know. We'll move slow." I believed him. Monday felt electric yet invisible. We kept professional distance, no touches, no private smiles, but awareness hummed between us. The team threw him a birthday lunch. I gave him a plain leather notebook, understated, expensive. He met my eyes across the table and said, "Exactly right. Thank you." Later, in the empty break room, he hugged me fast and fierce. "Tonight. My place. I cook." His apartment was glorious disorder, books leaning towers, plants spilling over shelves, guitar against the wall. It should have made me itch. It didn't. He made pasta, opened wine, lit candles. After dinner we moved to his couch, then his bed. He learned me patiently, attentively. I let go in a way I never had, trusting completely. Morning light woke me. His arm draped over my waist, steady breathing against my neck. I stayed until almost 1. We built a new normal. Quiet weeknights at my place, early dinners, early lights out. Weekends at his, late breakfasts, movies on the floor, music filling corners. I left dishes overnight once. Nothing collapsed. I laughed louder, worried less. One rainy Thursday he appeared at my door with Thai food and a comedy I'd never seen. We ate cross-legged on the rug, then made love there, slow and unhurried. Afterward he asked, "Do you ever picture more?" I tensed. "More than this?" He kissed my temple. "More of us." I stayed quiet. But in the dark, alone with my thoughts, I started picturing it too, not as obligation, but as something warm, possible. My parents announced a visit with 4 hours' notice. I spiraled. Ethan was already over, chopping vegetables for dinner. When the doorbell rang I introduced him as a colleague helping with a work thing. My mother's eyebrow lifted. My father asked about salary. Ethan answered smoothly, charming them without trying. They left after coffee. I apologized the second the door closed. I should have said boyfriend. He looked hurt for the first time. "You get to choose the words, Della." "Always." We talked until the sky lightened. I admitted fear, of labels, of failure, of losing control. He admitted he wanted commitment, not casual forever. By dawn I whispered, I want us. Officially. I just move slow. He smiled against my hair. Slow is perfect. Spring came gentle. We shared calendars, mine still color-coded, his notes scribbled in margins. We traveled once, a quiet cabin weekend. We came home to Luna's offended stare. One Saturday he tried pancakes in my kitchen. Batter on the ceiling, smoke alarm chirping. I laughed until tears came, then helped him scrub. Later, in bed, me in pale green pajamas, him pressed close, he murmured against my forehead, "You make calm feel like home." I kissed him back, long and sure. No timer ticking, no list waiting. Only his heartbeat, my breathing, Luna's soft weight at our feet. Safety was no longer a locked door. It was this, trusting someone to stay, even when things spilled.